Most people are trying to break into data analyst roles the wrong way. They keep applying, they keep learning, stacking certifications, and keep getting ignored. Not because they're incapable, but because they're missing three things hiring managers are actually looking for. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through a three-part framework that changes how you're seen, how you're evaluated, and how fast you can get hired. Because it's not about doing more. It's about fixing what everyone else keeps getting wrong. If you're new here, I'm Kadisha, and I'm a data career coach, and I've helped thousands of professionals pivot into data analytics roles without going back to school. People landing roles at Microsoft, phData, University of Texas, and more. Career changers, teachers, etc. And I don't teach this stuff from a textbook. 6 years ago, I was making about $15 an hour working in a warehouse and delivering pizzas, and I use the same exact framework that I'm about to share with you. And if you're ever interested in working with me to land your first role in data analytics, click the link in the description. All right, so let's start with the thing that's probably costing you interviews right now. And it's not your experience, it's how you're writing your resume. Researchers use eye tracking technology to study how recruiters actually read resumes. 6 to 8 seconds. That is the initial scan time before they decide if you're worth a deeper look or not. And that recruiter isn't being lazy, they're drowning. Just imagine thousands of applications per job, 15 to 25 open roles at any time that they're working with. They are tired and you are just one of thousands. So in those 6 seconds, 80% of their attention goes to 5 things: your name, current title, skills, dates, and education. That's it. If those 5 things don't immediately signal data analysts, you're gone before they ever reach your bullets. But let's say you pass that initial scan. Now they're reading, and this is where most people lose it. I've reviewed hundreds of resumes, and the number one killer is always the same: activity bullets. Created dashboards using Tableau. That just tells me you know how to click buttons. And so does everyone else applying for the role. Here's what an impact bullet looks like. Built an executive dashboard that reduced weekly reporting time by 40%, enabling faster decision making across 3 business units. Same tool, completely different story. One says, hey, I showed up. The other says, I made the business better, and here are the results. Every bullet needs to pass the so what test. You read it out loud. Ask yourself, so what? Why does that matter to the business? If you can't answer in one sentence, rewrite it and connect it to revenue, time, efficiency, or decisions. That's the filter. One of my students came to me with a clinical research background, and every bullet was packed with medical terminology. That meant nothing to a tech hiring manager. So we didn't change her experience, we just changed how we framed it. Impact first, rewrites across the board. And within a couple months, she was landing interviews, and she ended up with a $20,000 pay raise. Same experience, but different lens. That's Pillar 1 of the system. Okay, so most people build a portfolio after they learn. Courses first, projects second. That's the wrong order, and that's exactly why people get stuck in the tutorial loop. Here's a reframe. Your portfolio isn't just proof of skills. It's also how you build domain expertise at the same time. Every project should be teaching you how a real industry thinks and what problems they pay to solve. You're not just building a portfolio, you're actually creating your own mini MBA, project by project. And most portfolios that I see are missing that entirely. Same old copy and paste projects. Titanic, Iris, generic Kaggle datasets with no real business context. The same 10 projects recycled by hundreds of people who all think that they're standing out, but you're not. The person reviewing your portfolio has seen this 30 times this week. 3 focused, business-centric projects will get you 2 to 3 times more interviews than 10 shallow ones. More is not better. Better is better. So step 1, start with a business problem, not a data set. What keeps leadership up at night? Customer churn, cart abandonment, pricing optimization, revenue leakage. Go to Harvard Business Review. They publish free case studies on exactly how companies use data. You can read one a week. Amazon drives 35% of their sales through recommendations. Netflix saves billions of dollars a year reducing churn. Starbucks analyzes 90 million transactions weekly to win back at-risk customers. Each one of those is a project that you can replicate with public data. Step 2, deliver your analysis in 2 ways: an interactive dashboard and a consulting style slide deck. The dashboard shows that you know the tools, and the slide deck shows that you know the business. Real analysts don't just analyze, they persuade. If your portfolio only has dashboards, you're only showing half the job. That's exactly what one of my students did. We rebuilt her portfolio around real business problems and delivered every project with a full write-up and a slide deck. And then she got about 5 senior analyst roles in about 60 days. Not because she got smarter, but because her portfolio finally showed what she was actually capable of. That's Pillar 2, proof. Your portfolio is a storefront, and every project runs through the same filter. So does this analysis make the business more money or save them time? If it doesn't answer either, it doesn't go in. period. Okay, so this is the pillar most career changers need the most and get the least help with. Because everyone teaches the skills, but no one teaches you how to walk into a room and make a hiring manager feel like you were built for this role. And that is what your story does. Here's the fear I hear constantly. Kadisha, I was a teacher, I drove trucks, I worked in a warehouse. How do I compete with someone who already has a data analyst role on their resume? You're not behind, you're just not translating it yet. Michael Jordan retired from the NBA to play professional baseball. Baseball humbled him, the greatest athlete on the planet at the time, grinding through the minor leagues. But the people around him noticed that his work ethic was elite. His willingness to study the game transferred. The specific skill didn't, but the professional foundation underneath did. That's you, a teacher who tracks student performance trends and presenting it into a school board or other teachers. That's an analyst. A logistics manager who optimizes routes and report KPIs. Same thing. You've been doing the work. The job now is to translate it. And 50% of employers say that a candidate's personal pitch is what makes them stand out. Not credentials, their story. So here's how you build it. Identify 3 to 5 experiences where you solved a problem or improved a process using data, even informally. Rewrite each one using the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. Every story needs a number. Revenue saved, time reduced, error rate dropped. Estimate conservatively even if you have to. That is what professionals do. Then write your elevator pitch. 30 seconds tops. Answer the one question every interview is really asking. Why should we hire you? 3 things. Who you were, what shifted, and what specific value do you bring now? Tight, confident, and practiced. No experience set, create it. Use the micro consultancy method. Find a local nonprofit and offer 30 days of free analytical work. Build them a dashboard and write a 1-page business summary of your findings. So that's pillar 3, story. It's not about the most qualified person in the room. It's about the most compelling, the most credible, the one the hiring manager can already picture on their team. All right, so you got a strong resume, your portfolio shows business thinking, and your story is tight. Now let's talk about where you're sending all of that. Because Billy Beane built a winning baseball team on a tiny budget by throwing out metrics everyone else used. Batting average was a standard, and he switched to on-base percentage because you can't score if you're not on base. He and his team beat everyone else by measuring what actually mattered while everyone else chased what looked impressive. Most job seekers are measuring the wrong thing as well. Seeing an application sent feels like progress, but it's not. Alignment per application is the metric that matters. 10 targeted applications will beat 50 generic ones every single time. And data analyst is just one label. The same skills get hired under dozens of titles. BI analyst, reporting specialist, analytical engineer, product analyst, revenue analyst, insights manager, clinical data manager. The list goes on and on. Same SQL, same dashboards, far less competition. Pick 1 or 2 industries where your background gives you an edge and search every title variation for data analytics. Healthcare, go after clinical data manager roles. For retail, revenue analysts will convert faster because your domain is already built in. Stop stepping into the most crowded lanes voluntarily. This is the blue ocean principle. Find the water where the combination of your domain knowledge and the data skills make you the most obvious choice. And if you're currently employed, don't sleep on internal transfers. Start with volunteering for analytical work. You've already passed the hiring bar and no one is competing against you for that path. So that's it, 3 pillars and 1 system. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through a full step framework on how to put this all into action. I'll see you in the next one.